Hey guys, it's Red Shell here. I wanted to talk about a little bit about my understanding of Kraken in Splatoon right now. Uh, I've seen over time like random discussions pop up on Twitter and whatever about why this thing actually exists. Um, I don't know if all of them are serious or not, honestly, but I kind of just wanted to talk about it anyways. Uh, but generally, Cometz is seen as like the worst of the three in overall, from what I can tell. It really doesn't have too many great strengths. I mean, it is definitely the most generalist of the three Octobrushes. It's got, solid special for just any situation really, and it's got a bomb. You can't really complain too much about that. But I suppose the other two, it doesn't really have a good, like a, I don't know, it doesn't have a good niche really. Like the vanilla one has Zipcaster, which isn't like great right now, but it's still Zipcaster. It's still gonna get some value. If you use it well, you can get consistent value out of it. It's kind of difficult, but it's just got a lot of like Zipcaster. Like it has a lot of adaptability, so you can do a whole bunch of different things with it. You can displace people, you can kill people, you can distract people. It's a little weak right now again, but still good special. A good niche for Octobrush. And then you got Octobrush Nouveau, which still isn't the strongest weapon. I mean, it's got Ink Storm, which isn't the greatest special right now, but Octobrush has always worked really well with Squid Beacons. So it has a niche with that no matter what. So if you want to use the Beacon Brush, you're going to use the Beacon Brush. And this weapon's good on some Zones maps, some Clan Blitz maps, maybe even some Tower Control. I've had some success even on Turf War recently on Urchin Underpass, which has been kind of crazy. But back to Cometz, then you got this one, which has a bomb, which the vanilla Octobrush also has, an arguably better bomb, especially for Octobrush. And then it has Kraken, which Kraken is very weak right now, to say the least. I think it's worse than Zip. I think it's one of the worst specials in the game, really. They're the only, no weapon with Kraken is seeing use right now. And the two weapons that are, the three weapons that have Kraken on one of their kits, are being used in the meta on their other kit variants. So, 96 Galdeco is being seen with just the vanilla 96. The E-Leader is being seen with just E-Leader, and Heavy is being seen with just the vanilla Heavy. So none of the Kraken kits are getting any use right now. So then why even try to use Kraken? If the meta weapons aren't even using it, then what's the point of trying to get value out of Kraken? Because Kraken is very committal. Once you use it, you have to be in it for like 8 seconds or something. I don't remember exactly how long it lasts. And it's very difficult to get a kill with it. It does one shot, but you can't really move around too well with it. But what Kraken does do well, which Inkstorm and Zipcaster don't do as well as it, is that it holds an area extremely well. If a Kraken is popped within around this perimeter, within a certain perimeter of which the Kraken's popped, you can't go close to it, And that's part of the way how to play around it. If you see a Kraken get popped, you just go the other way. You don't want to even interact with the thing. But if you put your opponents in a situation in which they have to interact with the Kraken, then it's going to get value, no matter what. And that's how you want to get value out of your Krakens. Because if you just pop the Kraken and try to search for a kill, you're not going to get one. And if you do get one, you're pretty lucky. You want to use it in a scenario that the other team needs to move towards you. And so what I mean by that, let's go to an actual stage. Okay, Splatfest is this weekend. And we're going to go to zones on what I think is the best. The stage that I have had by far the best success with this is zones on Wahoo World. Now, Wahoo World's always been awful for Octobrush. In Splatoon 2 and 3, I have not, until Cometz Octobrush came out, I've never been able to get Octobrush to work on this stage. At least in zones. You can get it to work in tower control with Octobrush Nouveau, or Clams. And Rainmaker of the Ken's Octobrush wasn't too bad, or the vanilla one in Splatoon 2. But in 3, good luck getting Zipcaster to work here. Octobrush is way too little range to work around the zip where the Zipcaster can go to on the walls. You can get it to work with Stamper, I think, but not with Octobrush. And then Octobrush Nouveau is Inkstorm, which does absolutely nothing on this stage. So this stage is just terrible for Octobrush. It can't fight anything. It's got way too little range. It's got way too little kill power. If it tries to move anywhere, it just dies. But the thing with Kraken here on Wahoo World is that you can take hold of a space and move through it while being invincible. And this stage is all flat with almost no walls, which makes Kraken very good. And what makes it even better is when you're holding this zone, you'll say my team has capped the zone. We're in control. Timer's counting down. The other team is trying to push back in, getting their specials ready, getting ready to start. And I'm positioned right here as the Octobrush, you know. I'm throwing bombs. Maybe I'm swinging underneath them a little bit. And I get my Kraken charge. When they start to push, like when they start dropping from this platform here, this entire space becomes a threat because the Kraken can go there. So like, if someone drops here, and I pop my Kraken, now this whole area is just taken up by the Kraken. They can't push their plat anymore. Now, you have to not be too overcommittal with it, because if you like charge the Kraken, and then you give them too much opportunity to get around it, then, you know, they'll be able to push that area. But that's effectively what you want to do. You know, no one wants to drop into a Kraken, and that's, from what I can tell, the best way how to get value out of Kraken in this game. It makes it very difficult for the enemy team to push. Even if they use something like Inkjet, where they're going above you, you still can't die, so their other three teammates can't push very easily. And so, it's just good. It holds them back from the zone, it holds this area pretty well. And Wahoo World's the main stage where I figured out how to get that to work. I'm sure this works with other Krakens, but Octobrush is just pretty strong here, actually. It's probably one of the stronger Kraken weapons that can do something like that, because it's more towards the front. So you're really going to be doing that, I think, with like Splattershot, Octobrush, or I guess Crack-On Roller, maybe Range Blaster. And yeah, 96. Like Elier and Heavier, I think, want to be positioned too far back to use Kraken in that way, but I could be wrong. Anyways, the problem with this though, is that this sounds great. Seems like it works great in Wahoo World. I have not tested this out on enough stages to actually know how useful it is. A lot of stages in this game, you don't have to drop to get to the zone. You can just shoot it from the plat. Or like the snipes. Like Scorch Gorge, you don't need to drop. There's a bridge across the whole zone, and you can even shoot the zone from the snipe. So they don't even really have to drop on you. Something like Hagglefish, they don't need to drop also. This whatever backline can just shoot from the cover. And like if they got like short range shooters, they'll need to drop, but if even midlines can just stall out the Kraken. So it's really hard to find a stage where the Kraken's going to get enough value where you can force the enemy team to push into it. The other, and you know, I haven't tested it out enough. I need to use Kraken Brush more, just to, especially in ranked, just to try to figure out where else it could be used. I'm sure it can be used. Hagglefish is probably not too bad for it, because you can like push with Kraken and stuff too. The other stage that I found that this works okay on is Mako Mart zones. Now this is a good map for all 3 Octobrushes. You can really use whatever you want to here. But I've had actual success with the Cometz brush, so this is a good option for it. Where this is similar, where if you use it... This one you gotta figure out where the enemy team is coming from. Because if they're coming from the right side and you're set up left, and you pop the Kraken on left, then you're not going to be as effective as stopping them when you're on the right side. But most of the time, people need to drop here. I mean, they can shoot the zone a little bit from up here, but the zone is it's small enough so that you don't really need to drop, because the other enemy team's set up here. I guess the reason why you need to drop on the stage as opposed to like Haggle is that on Haggle, if you just stay up and like stay back and paint, then the enemy team can kind of also just stay back and paint, and then it's a stalemate. If you don't drop on this stage, the enemy team can push up. It's a lot easier to push on this stage than in Haggle, so you need to drop on this one most of the time to actually do something and take the zone instead of like just farming specials the entire time. I don't know if I'm explaining that quite enough, but anyways, teams normally drop on this stage to try to take back zone. If you pop the Kraken around here, now this whole area is just inaccessible, and especially like this is really good against Big Bubbler, where you can just kill everyone inside the Big Bubbler by doing that. I'm also just hopping around with the Kraken a bit more. I'm not using the ZR very much. This is just recon, but the ZR, I don't use it as often because it's significantly more committal than just jumping around. And with jumping around, there is still a one-shot to it, where if you do this, and then, like if you hit a dummy twice in a row with the one-shot, with the two-shot, then you can still kill with it. I can show them in the training room quick after. But yeah, Kraken also works pretty good over here too. It just prevents them from taking this snipe. You kind of use it like Big Bubbler in that way for your teammates, where you can just hold an area in front of them and then they can sit back and shoot people. So, but yeah, that's to my knowledge the best way how to get value out of Kraken right now. This is definitely my weakest of the 3 Octobrushes, just because I haven't put as much time into it as the other two, so this is still definitely a work in progress, but from what I can tell, that's generally the best way how to get value out of Kraken as an Octobrush. And I guess I'll also show the what I was talking about with the two-shot quick. You pop Kraken, and then you can just do this. Yeah, just something like that. Even if you just barely nip them, it gets them, so it's really nice. But it's just significantly less committal, so that you can make adjustments to where you're moving a lot easier. So when you're holding a space, it's generally better, rather than trying to just go for kills specifically. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you all enjoyed, and Red Shell out.